I can personally guarantee that with the 3 things you learn in this video, you will be able to beat Grandmaster Lightblade. And if you still can't, come to my live stream and let me know, and I'll personally diagnose your issue and help you find the solution. Or I'll just take you through myself. Today I am going to walk through a full run that showcases the 3 tricks to conquering the boss fight: ad killing, boss baiting, and cooldown management. If you've been waiting for my Omnioculus Hunter playbook video for Void 3.0, this video will serve to be a bit of a taste of what's to come. It will be a long watch for sure, but it's packed full of information that is very well worth knowing and will secure you a kill so grand that you'll want to have a celebratory meal afterwards. And there is no better way to do that than with my recent sponsor, HelloFresh. Y'all know me. I never have sponsors on my videos because I don't want to try and sell crap to you that I don't believe in. But as an existing user of HelloFresh, I was happy to accept their offer to sponsor my content when they reached out. I don't want to waste your time, so to make it simple for you, if you live in the US, you can click on the link in the description to automatically apply my code and get a massive discount that brings your cost to about $6 per meal per person, which is cheaper than takeout and honestly even most fast food. And it's all sensible and healthy meals tested by professional chefs that are shipped directly to your door with easy to follow instructions included. And if you decide at any point that it's not for you, it's easy to cancel at any time. So if you enjoy my content and want to support the production of it while getting some damn good food in the process, please consider checking it out using the link down below. And if you do sign up, please be sure to let me know either in the comment section or in my Discord server so I can personally say thank you for supporting my work. Now, starting off with the build for this boss kill, it should be no surprise to you that I am recommending an Omnioculus Hunter. When I said cooldown management was one of the key things to learn in this video, I was referring to invisibility cooldowns. This strike will train you to be calm and patient with your abilities and also teach you exactly when to use which one. It's a beautiful showcase of how far this subclass can be pushed to its limits. We want Mobius Quiver with Gambler's Dodge, Triple Jump, and Vortex Grenade. For aspects, we want Trapper's Ambush for the invisible smoke bombs and Shadow Dive, which by the way gives you a bonus 2 seconds of invisibility compared to just throwing the smoke. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you didn't know that before watching this video so you can learn even more stuff like it from the rest of my content. We will also want Vanishing Step to acquire invisibility from our dodge. Another fun fact, assuming you have Echo of Persistence, using this while uninvisible or while being invisible from a throwable smoke or Echo of Obscurity finisher will give you 8 seconds of invisibility. But if you use it while you are invisible from the effects of a Shadow Dive smoke, you will receive 10 seconds of invisibility instead. Seriously, where else would you learn this stuff? For fragments, we want Echo of Persistence for bonus invisibility duration, Echo of Obscurity to make us invisible after using a finisher, and the third slot is Dealer's Choice. I recommend something like Remnants or Provision though. For weapons, we want to do our best to slot arc weapons that will receive the 25% damage bonus from the acute burn. I used my Cantata and Tarantula, and the roll on the Tarantula honestly doesn't matter. Even the worst rolled Tarantula will be better than your perfect rolled Reed's Regret since it's getting a 25% damage buff. Finally, we want Arbalest to be able to one-shot barrier shields. For armor, we of course want Omnioculus for 50% smoke refund per ally smoked, 50% damage resistance while invisible, and a second smoke bomb. For armor mods, we want Linear Fusion Finder, Reserves, and Scavenger. Other than that, we want mods that will regen our abilities, such as Utility Kickstart on our class item for 20% class ability energy refund on use. We will also want Reaping Wellmaker to make Void Wells with weapon kills after a dodge, Elemental Ordnance to make Void Wells with grenades, and Bountiful Wells to create an additional well anytime we create one. After that, it's Unstoppable Hand Cannon and perhaps some arc resists if you have room. For stats, 100 mobility is the most important, with the rest speccing into recovery and strength. Discipline doesn't hurt either. Now that you have your perfect build, let's walk through your personalized Hunter Masterclass and teach you exactly how to perfectly play your Ghost of a Guardian. So we'll start by hopping down, and since all 3 of us are hunters, we'll want to just fire our tethers off pretty much right away at the boss. Kind of stack up there. I'm gonna throw my grenade on him so I can see exactly when I get damage numbers on him, so I know when it's good to throw a tether. So go ahead and burn him, and the reason we're kind of tossing that tether right away is because we can get a nice chunk of damage, and then we can pretty much get it back instantly by coming downstairs and picking up all of these orbs that are kind of like around the pit and whatnot. There's also some up on top of the bowl. Just a nice easy chunk of damage. And then we'll worry about clearing out the thrall. Now, the number one thing to focus on is that left side of my screen where it says void invisibility with the timer. The number one thing that you want to do as an invis hunter in regards to managing your cooldowns and such is trying to make the most out of that timer. And what I mean by that is you never want to be like using your invisibility cooldowns, your jump smoke, your throwable smoke, your dodge and whatnot, when your void invisibility is at like 7, 8 seconds, etc. You want to try and wait for it to be at like 1 second, 2 seconds and stuff like that if you can. And the reason for that is because every second that you let that tick, you are safely letting your other cooldowns regenerate passively, right? So I'm kind of waiting here for my void invisibility timer to go down very significantly before I ever shoot at him, because I want to make the most out of being invisible, because if I'm just spamming my invisibility cooldowns, you know, throwing a smoke bomb, shooting an enemy who's still with 6 seconds of invisibility left, then I'm going to run out of invisibility pretty quickly because my cooldowns aren't going to be able to passively regen and keep up. So now I'm gonna get the attention of the boss, and I'm just gonna kind of try and keep him aggroed on me. As long as I'm on like a different elevation than he is, he'll never be able to kill me. We did get thrall spawn though, so the priority now is going to be the thrall spawn. Grenades are perfect for getting them. And after we get all the thrall, we're pretty much back on the boss. Using my void invisibility timer right when it gets down to 1 second. I'm making sure to get next to the boss. I use my dodge so I can refresh my invisibility to 10 seconds, get my smoke bomb back. Now that my void invisibility is out, I have the smoke ready to pop. And here is where, you know, managing your cooldowns is really key. So right now, I'm going to want to make sure I use my dodge next to him to get my smoke bomb back, because my dodge is available. And then I'm going to wait until the void invisibility is really close to being pretty much gone before I get my teammates res, because then I want to make him invisible after I res him anyway. So if I kind of wait for my timer to hit like 0 almost, then I'm making the most out of that invisibility cooldown while also keeping him safe after his res with invisibility, while also keeping myself safe by re-invising me. So that's kind of how focusing the invisibility cooldowns is really, really nice. We can just focus now on boss damage because we've cleared absolutely all of the ads. And I'll actually do my best to juggle him right here and keep him jumping between the different sections, because when he's jumping, he's not shooting at us. So I'm just kind of keeping my distance. Sometimes he will slam if you do get just a little too close. Sometimes he'll shoot too. But as long as you're on a different elevation, he's never really going to touch you. I'm just kind of tracking him and making sure I know where he is. Once again, anytime he's going to put his hand up and start trying to shoot at me, I'm just going to back it up a little bit. Because as long as he doesn't have that angle on me, he's never going to be able to hit me. I have no idea where he is currently. I'm going to try and get him to jump up here on me. He's not behaving very well, though. We're just going to slowly take damage. And then right when we get him to 2/3, we're all going to come over to me, to the right side of the Oryx and Akka statue? I think it's Akka, whatever. Because the Hive Guardian is going to spawn right over here on me. We're going to try and beam that Hive Guardian right away. Perfect, he's dead, so I'm gonna go and take care of his ghost. Squish the ghost, and I'll of course get my invisibility back because I have Echo of Obscurity. So now my void invisibility is 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Gonna dodge right next when it's low to take care of that cooldown. Don't have to worry too much about my void invisibility cooldowns at the current moment though, because the only thing that's left in the arena right now is melee enemies. We've got those 2 Sword Knights and a bunch of Cursed Thrall. The boss will respawn when we kill both of those Sword Knights as well as the Hive Guardian. So we already killed the Hive Guardian. We've bursted him right away. But we do have the 2 Sword Knights back up. So we'll actually want to kill one of the Sword Knights since it's the most lethal target. Since it can chase you around the arena, the Cursed Thrall cannot jump up to the 2nd floor. So we'll kill one of the Hive Sword Knights. Then we'll kill all of the Cursed Thrall. Then we'll kill the 2nd Hive Sword Knight. So did you guys kill one of the Hive Sword Knights? Or okay. So this is the last Hive Sword Knight. A great way to dodge these Hive Sword Knights, by the way, to make sure if they're ever running at you, to make sure they never hit you. You can literally just vault straight over them. They're not particularly scary. But I don't want to kill this one quite yet because I want both of my teammates up on the right side platform, kind of at the edge of it, because there's a possibility that a barrier champion along with some acolytes spawn right there directly in front of them. So I like them standing there because if the champion does spawn right in front of them, then it's really easy for them to just burn it down with their tethers and everything like that. So Optimistic, head over to where Kitsune is right now, and then I'll take the other side and make sure I manage it. But I'll nail this guy. And so I got a spawn on me, so I'm going to throw my Vortex Grenade to kill all of the acolytes and damage the barrier knight enough to make it pop its shield. After killing its shield, I'm going to immediately go invis, and then I'm going to tether it so I can kill it, finish her off, so my Echo of Obscurity makes me invisible, and boom, that's one of the champions done easily. Avoid invisibility is at 2 seconds, so I'm going to go ahead and refresh it. And I'm going to focus on getting my teammate up right here. So I want to wait and get my cooldowns good to go. Boss is looking right at me, though. I don't like that. So we're going to kind of hang tight. We're going to hope that the boss moves, which he does. We got super lucky there that he decided to shoot instead of slam. I honestly thought he had went down. Kind of teleported a little bit down there. We're just kind of playing around with our invisibility cooldowns at the current moment. And then my teammate can focus on just kind of thinning out the acolytes. Just kind of doing our best to drop all the ads as best as possible. My teammate's going to get the res perfectly. Now my Void Invisibility 3, 2, 1. Right when it hits 1, I can pop my dodge again, refresh my Smoke Bomb, and make the most out of my invisibility cooldown. Now I'm just going to kind of try and weave shots into my invisibility just to kind of make sure that I'm staying shrouded as much as possible. And then we, of course, have this Acolyte up again. I missed the shot on him, so I have no problem just dodging. Now I know he's going to die, so I'm just going to get my dodge off on him right away, even though my Void Invisibility wasn't quite done close to being at 0. I still wanted getting the dodge off was better than not getting the dodge off because he was kind of the last enemy in that vicinity, so just popping that on him real quick. Now, I don't love that current positioning because obviously the boss is going to try and shoot at me from that range, so I'm going to go invisible real quick. But I'm going to try and get the boss to come down here to me so that I can hopefully try and get him jumping back and forth and whatnot. Now, I want to go invis right there and dodge just to get my Smoke Bomb back, but... so, unfortunately, I played that a little bit. Instead of jumping up on the top, I probably should have jumped down below instead when he jumped up to the bull. Kind of going over his head, prompted him to slam, and I was unfortunately just a little bit too close, and he ended up whacking me. But that's okay. It's not horrible for me to make a mistake because since you guys can see the mistake, now you guys know not to make that mistake yourself. So once again, I'm just going to try and bait the boss, try and get him over here, and just try and make sure that I'm on a different elevation than him and make sure he can't really see me to do his ranged attack. And of course, if he can see me, I can just kind of slide out so that... Okay, now I should be able to have him in a position now, and you guys can just start damaging him until we get him to 50%. I'm trying to have him jump and whatnot. Okay, there's the 50%, so we're going to be focused on dropping the champions, dropping all the acolytes and whatnot. I'm going to be focused on getting my invisibility cooldowns going and whatnot. Now, this is a really important thing that you can do with invisibility, where you can kind of try and kill ads in between your invisibility. So right as that timer gets lower, I'm going to fire off a shot at one of the ads and then immediately go invisible right after. Invisibility is at 1 second. Now, once again, I'm not going to get this res quite yet because I want to wait for my Void Invisibility to time out a little bit so that I'm making the most of my passive regeneration before I reuse invisibility, because I have to invis him anyway or he's going to die, and I want to refresh my invisibility as well. So we're going to try and kill another Acolyte right there. Didn't work out, but that's okay, just because I missed the headshot, but, you know, all good. Gonna use the dodge right here because it's available, and I know I can get a Smoke Bomb back. Definitely want to stay away from that moth. And I'll probably just kill the moth just to make it generally safer in the arena. Right at the end of my invisibility timer. And I want to get close to the boss right now because I want to have someone to dodge next to. That was a little late on the dodge. I probably should have done it a little earlier while it was still invisible to make sure that he didn't slam me. But now we're going to try and kill this barrier knight. I know the boss is completely focused on my teammates, so I know I have a pretty safe shot on this guy. That's why I'm not really worried about being invisible at the current moment, because I know I'm not really in the focus of the boss. My teammate just killed that barrier knight, and I know the boss could be on me because I don't see him shooting anymore, so I'm going to go back to making sure my invisibility cooldowns are good to go. 2 seconds, so I pop the dodge. And as far as what form of invisibility I'm using, generally speaking, if my dodge is up and I'm missing a smoke bomb and I'm already invis, I'm going to use the dodge. Versus if my dodge is not up, of course, or if I need to invis a teammate, like if I'm getting a res or if I know a teammate is right next to me that maybe can't go invisible, then I'll use the jump smoke instead. The jump smoke is kind of used for when you need to initiate invisibility, or when your dodge is not available, whereas the dodge is kind of more so used when you're already in invisibility, and you're kind of just trying to extend your invisibility timer while getting a smoke bomb back, and refreshing, or sorry, I already said that, extending your invisibility timer while getting a smoke bomb back. So now we can damage the boss again. We'll damage him to 1/3 HP, at which point we'll, of course, want to be on the right side of the Oryx and Akka statue, because that's where we're going to kill the Hive Guardian from. I'm going to try and bait the boss up and make him jump and whatnot, so he's more concerned about jumping than he is about slamming us and shooting at us. Sometimes he will still shoot, at which point, you know, you can just kind of slide under the bull, as long as he doesn't have an angle on you. Easy to kind of aggro him and bait him. And it's way better to bait him with kind of verticality than it is to, you know, try and bait him with being on a, you know, kind of moving left to right. Just way easier to kind of cut off his angle to you. So I kind of lost his aggro a little bit. Definitely want to get his aggro back. And I'm sitting on the lip of this bowl just in case he decided to shoot me right there from the top balcony, so that I could go ahead and easily drop down behind the bull and be safe. So now we've got the Lightblade Warrior. Just gonna prioritize beaming him. He's over on the right side. I'm gonna go invis. Let my teammates kind of take care of him. He is finishable. I'll get the finisher on the ghost. And then right now we've got all melee targets since we did kill that Hive Guardian. So I'm gonna kill one of these Lightblade Disciples right here. I'll get the one on me. I'll go ahead and finish it. And then we just focus on the 8 thralls. And then after we kill the 8 thralls, we can, of course, take care of the final Sword Knight, which will bring the boss back out. And when we bring the boss back out, we'll have 8 to 10 regular thrall. I can't remember if it's 8 or 10, but it's just a handful of regular thrall. Look out to your left leg. Nope, unlucky. All good. Of course, when the knight pushes us, simple to dodge his attacks. We just kind of vault over him. He's never going to touch us. I probably should use my jump smoke right there. I kind of wanted to use my dodge instead of my jump smoke there, though, because the dodge, I can move a certain direction, and I could kind of like kite him back while dodging, whereas the jump smoke puts me stationary temporarily, so. I don't want to get my teammates res quite yet because the knight was right on top of him, so I didn't want him to basically get spawn killed. So go ahead and make him invisible so he can get away from the knight very safely. And then my teammates can kind of hang out on the upper balconies and kind of just avoid the boss. I'm going to stay down low and try and bait out like as many of the thrall as I can. Because I can kind of like toss a grenade and they'll all run into my grenade as I kind of like jump smoke away. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of kite them out. I think it is 8 thrall, by the way, instead of 10. So the boss just went upstairs, so I know I'm at no risk of him hitting me. There's no angle he could have unless he's on that side. So I'm perfectly free to go ahead and kill those thrall. And I believe all the thrall are dead. So I'm just going to go back to try and get him boss aggro. Try and make him jump. But of course, kind of playing the backside of the bowl just in case he does decide to shoot. Make sure he doesn't have an angle on me. And once we hit 25% HP, we will have more barriers, 2 more barriers, some acolytes, the same. But in this final wave, we actually have a couple thrall as well. So worth looking out for that. And there's the spawn. I'm going to go invis to just kind of assess the situation. And main priority here is to kind of like thin out the trash mobs. So my void invisibility there was 1 second, and I could refund a smoke. So go ahead and dodge right there pretty easily. I see some thrall right here too, so I'm going to just try and maybe chuck a grenade and get some damage on some of them, try and kill a couple. And then here, I can actually kill this acolyte and get my dodge off to re-smoke because there was more than 1 enemy, so my dodge would give me my smoke back from the thrall. If there was like just the acolyte in isolation, then I would have either had to avoid killing him and use just my dodge and extend my invisibility cooldown, or I would have had to or I would have just had to kill and then jump smoke. So I actually can finish this guy, just because finisher does activate my Echo of Obscurity and give me invis. So as long as like the boss isn't directly next to me, it's perfectly safe to just do a finisher right there. Gonna hang out right here and just kind of like look for an enemy to dodge next to give me my smoke back and extend my invisibility timer. And then with this acolyte, since I have no dodge and 2 smokes, I want to try and nail that acolyte and then immediately go invis right after. Got this barrier knight right here that is pretty much free for the taking. I'll get a finisher to give me damage resistance from the moth and to make me invis from my Echo of Obscurity. I don't like that I'm not invis here, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my jump real quick. But I do have to get next to the boss because I don't have any smokes left, and I do have my dodge up. So I need to make sure that I get my cooldowns going. And then we can go ahead and damage boss more. I'm just going to tether because I don't really know what he's looking at. And I want to make sure I maintain invisibility. Now I have no invisibility cooldowns right now, so I want to definitely make sure that I refresh my invisibility with a dodge, which will give me my smoke bomb back, of course. Gonna go ahead and put a couple shots into Thrall and then go ahead and refresh my invis. Now Thrall are really kind of dangerous to do your dive next to. You definitely don't want to be next to too many of them because 2 Thrall hits will kill you. So I'm definitely being very careful with my jump smoking around them. I don't want to like jump smoke into a pile of them because they'll all whack me and kill me. So that's why I'm being a little more careful. But we should honestly be able to just kill boss right here pretty easily. And so yeah, hopefully that kind of showcases ideally how you want to play a hunter in the Lightblade room. I think it makes it really, really easy to manage all of the ads and just kind of survive 24/7 when you properly manage your cooldowns and make sure that you're making the most out of your invisibility timer, kind of like milking out that timer before you expend another invisibility cooldown, so that you can make sure you're getting as much passive regeneration on your abilities as possible, especially your smokes. And then, once you get a little more advanced, being able to weave shots in between those cooldowns, right? When your invisibility is at like 1 or 2 seconds, maybe weave in an arbalist shot trying to kill an acolyte right before you dodge again, or right before you jump smoke again. And then of course, every time you dodge next to an enemy, your next kill will create 2 void wells from your Reaping Wellmaker and your Bountiful Wells mods, and picking those up is going to give you 20% energy refund to your smoke bombs and your dodge. So hopefully that was helpful, and yeah.